Today we're going to talk about how to write cold emails that stand out and get the attention of executives at top companies so you take your sales game to the next level and uncover bigger deals and make more money. It's only when you're selling the large enterprises that you encounter the huge deal sizes that put you in a position to make deep six figures and even seven figures in tech sales. We'll look at a few real-world cold email examples from my experience at Google and my current startup and diagnose what worked so you can try it out in your own outreach. More specifically, we'll look at a cold email I sent to the CMO of Sir Latab when I was at Google and an email I sent to the CEO of Southwest Airlines not too long ago at my current startup. If you get value out of this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for weekly videos committed to your success in tech sales and unleashing your potential in life. And don't be a stranger, feel free to email me at chrisbussingchannel@gmail.com or book time through my Calendly link linked in the description of this video to set up time to talk about tech sales, talk about the market, your goals, and maybe I can help you get your foot in the door. All right, let's dig into it. One of the hardest things to do in tech sales is to get your foot in the door and get meetings with top executives at large companies. This is because these Fortune 500 executives are beyond busy and have a million people reaching out. Getting a meeting with an executive at a top company takes a lot more creativity than getting a meeting with an SMB, small medium business company, where it's just the CEO and maybe a handful of other employees. If I had to break down conceptually what makes the biggest difference in cutting through the noise and standing out in your cold outreach to top executives at top companies, it comes down to three key things. Number one, make your messaging highly personal to the individual you're reaching out to. Number two, make it highly empathetic to their business priorities, opportunities, and challenges, seeing through the customer's lens and showing the customer that you get them. And number three, being different not just through personalized and empathetic outreach, but through showing effort and showing personality and a human element in your outreach. Writing award-winning cold emails that get big results takes conscientious research and a bit more time up front, but this labor of love will make you more effective in your messaging and most likely save you time on the back end from sending a million emails that come across as spammy and self-oriented and either don't get the executive's attention at all or turn them away completely. So to see these real-world principles in action, let's take a look at the email I sent to the CMO at Sir Latab when I worked at Google that got a meeting. I actually gave a presentation on getting meetings with executives that were invested in the competition, what we call greenfields, because I was so good at it. And I called that presentation Breaking into Greenfields Like a Boss. And when I referenced this email in the presentation, I captioned it Being Silly with the CMO at Sir Latab. Subject line, corresponded with Billy. Beth, my mom bought me a macaroon making class for my birthday in Boston years back, and I went into the class skeptical but came out with a big smile, a bunch of macaroons, and even made new friends on the train ride home, sharing them with strangers. I'm reaching out because you spend over $2 million in Google ad spend a year, and we work with similar organizations to turn that data into insights that improve attribution and the ROI on your marketing dollars. We help marketing departments answer questions they could never answer before, like what percentage of Google ad spend leads to in-store conversion. Do you have time to discuss the key attributions you're trying to make and the questions you could be answering about your customers that could help you better serve them and increase revenue? So what worked in this email? First of all, the subject line was extremely warm, corresponded with Billy. For context, I did get an email response from the CEO Billy who told me to reach out to the CMO, and if you can name drop, it's a game changer and the most powerful subject line you can use. Again, it makes the context very warm. I then started the body of the email implementing a concept that I call pattern interrupt. I didn't invent this, but it's an effective concept. And basically pattern interrupt says you can't be perceived as better if you aren't perceived as different. So in your cold outreach, don't be afraid to unleash your quirkiness and show your personality. It'll help you stand out. And at the end of the day, you just want to be real, you want to be different, you want to be human. Telling a funny little anecdote and relating it to their product and customer experience was a perfect way to do this. And that brings me to another key way to stand out when reaching out to Fortune 500 monster enterprise accounts. Always think about how you can become their customer and flatter and appreciate their product or customer experience. And give them feedback, mostly positive, but even if it's negative feedback, that's helpful too. It shows effort and it really is a personal touch. Another thing I did in this email that worked is I was very specific with my value proposition, and it was tied to a clear, verifiable ROI or return on investment of better engaging with customers and driving top-line revenue. If you can connect your solution to driving top-line revenue, whether you're in a boom period or a recession, that is the most powerful thing that you can do, even more so than showing how you cut cost and reduce risk, especially when it comes to a marketing department, if that's who you're selling to. The final thing I did that worked in this email is I did research on Sir Latab's current tech investments and discovered they use Google Ads, and I tailored the messaging to show how they could maximize what they had already invested in. You might not be selling for a company like Google, which is so big that your target companies might have invested in other aspects of your actual company's business that you can help them maximize, as was the case with this company investing in Google Ads. But if you know what tech investments your solution can integrate with and maximize, then you can use research tools out in the market like Intricately, Slintel, and others that will help you find data that can confirm if a target company has invested in the tech you help maximize. You can also look at job postings to see what skill sets and experience using certain tools companies are looking for in their candidates to get a sense of how you can tailor messaging in this way. Now let's finish up by looking at the email that I sent to the CEO of Southwest Airlines that got their admin's attention. And I will say it hasn't gotten me the meeting yet, but it opened up a conversation. I got registered as an official vendor for my startup, and it has laid groundwork for me to eventually work my way in there. There are definitely things that we can learn from this email that apply the concepts that we laid out earlier in the video. Subject line, please advise, upgrading SkySolver and crew web access. Bob, I'm not far off from you in Austin, Texas, and I'm a happy Southwest customer. I always appreciate that checked bags are free and the service is great, and there's no question that once I find the love of my life, I'm definitely going to get a companion pass. That said, I know that Southwest has plans to invest $1 billion in modernizing its technology infrastructure to cut down on delays and cancellations, and as a Gartner recognized AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure partner, we'd love to help you execute on that vision by building systems that can scale to meet peak demands and reliably handle storm disruptions. I'm mindful that you must be extremely busy, and I was curious if you would be willing to introduce my CEO and I to the best contact to discuss your IT modernization strategy and where we can help. Best, Chris. So here are the 4 key things I did to turn this cold email warm, and that I think increase the probability of getting a response from the CEO and their admin. Number 1, in the subject line, I said, please advise, which might come across like it's an internal email, and I referenced the names of their specific homegrown systems and applications, SkySolver and Crew Web Access, which was referenced in an online article. Number 2, I made it very personal by telling them I was a happy customer, and I specifically told them why. I even alluded to specific products like their companion pass, and threw in some humor, alluding to the fact that I'm not married yet or I don't have a romantic partner, but one day I hope to, and in that case I'll use the companion pass. Again, if we can be customers of our customers, then sharing our experience with their products and services really works. They're flattered, and it really goes a long way to make it truly personal. And what's subtle is that you're spending money to drive their business, so in return maybe they could spend a little money with you to buy your solution. It's a subtle thing, but it might actually trigger the law of reciprocity to get the prospect to be open to at least taking a meeting. Number 3, I referenced their specific plans to invest $1 billion in tech, and I highlighted specific business challenges, in other words, delays and cancellations, and I got that from an email that was sent out to Southwest customers and from reading articles online. And number 4, I did follow up with a reply all message, and that follow-up note was very short and simply asked for thoughts on the original email, which was more context and value driven. Usually the first email, no matter how value driven, isn't what hooks them for the meeting, but your follow-ups are what fuel your finances. Those follow-ups are what actually get the prospect to look back at the original email you sent and to also appreciate that you've been consistent in following up and putting in effort. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful and took away some key strategies that you can implement in your cold outreach to get more meetings with monster accounts that can help you blow out your numbers and make a lot more money in tech sales. Make sure to like the video because the YouTube algorithm loves that too. Subscribe for weekly videos committed to helping you succeed in tech sales and get the most out of life. And of course, email me at chrisbussingchannel@gmail.com or book time with me through my Calendly link linked in the description of this video. If you want to talk tech sales, I've got your back. To your success in tech sales and in life, happy selling and happy living. I'll see you in the next one.